How is it going, everybody? We're back. And this wouldn't be a Smash Bracket stream if I don't play around with our chat box. So let's put that right there for now. But yeah, it's been a while. Can you all hear us okay? Now let's go ahead and get some stream beats going. I like our music, but it's a little bit distracting for...
So good, though.
I know. And it gets us pennies.
It's true. I think every listen is equal to, like, a millionth of a penny or something.
Something like that. And, by the way, guys, I put together a... let's see. There we go. This is good for right now. Okay. I put together a template that's going to blow your mind for when we actually react to stuff. It looks much better. But yeah, let's see who we got in the comments. Do we have an Ink Thinks emote? Or an Ink Eats emote?
I think we've got Ink Drinks. But
Ink Drinks, dang.
Ink Eats.
I have that too. Let's see. All right, David is here. Welcome. We've got Soul Z. We have Joseph Bushin. LDG 159 Animation Studios. How's it going? Good to see ya. Let's see. When is Iroh versus Oogway? Not soon enough.
Yeah, we haven't started on that one at all yet.
I'm kind of torn about the production schedule of that one because I'd love to wait until we have a reliable hand-drawn animator we can work with.
I agree.
Like we've got a couple right now, they're just not disposable currently. Like we need them in other places.
I think that's one we really want to make sure we do justice.
Mm-hmm. I just watched Snake versus Sam Fisher, part of it at least. I took a bite of something, so you go ahead and talk with people for just a second.
Let's see. We got Weeb saying he's not going to be here for long. He's at an orchestra. Watch Archie Sonic versus Flash to get info on Archie. I don't actually like taking info from Death Battle very much because I want to make sure we're not like influenced by their take. Sometimes I'll check it out, especially after the episodes, but usually not before much.
I don't want to give away too much about our takes on Archie, Sonic, and Paper Mario. And there's going to be people who feel like we lowball them. But I can say, at least in terms of Sonic's speed, I feel like it's not going to be the kind of lowball you all are thinking. Like, I don't think we're ever going to see a character as fast as Archie Sonic.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay,
it's very
you know what's dumb about Archie Sonic? Because it's actually 3 characters.
It is. You have early comics gag Archie Sonic, and then you have middle comics edgy Archie Sonic, and then you have end comics Ian Flynn Archie Sonic.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
LDG.
thank you. If you aren't already, be sure to become a member of Smash Bracket and get access to some great perks. Thanks for the plug.
Yeah, thank you.
We do have some fun perks. A few of those are in a bit of a limbo right now as we're trying to reorganize, but we're looking for influence from current members so you can also have some say in what we're doing.
The thing with Archie Sonic, like you were saying, though, is I feel like you said they all 3 have pretty radically different power levels, right?
Oh, yeah. And it's just because, like, as the series went on, it became more competent, and so you have less feats as a result of incompetent staff.
Or, like, wanting to make puns.
Yeah, it's... The early issues are real weird. So, it's weird to try and narrow it down and say, like, which one is right. Especially when you have, like, really serious story moments coming later in the series that hugely contradict some of the early feats we see, but...
I think people are going to be happy with where we have the characters.
Some people will, yeah.
Here's the thing, because they're still crazy powerful characters, but we've treated them like we treat any other character.
Question, could Archie win with BFR? That is one of his win conditions that we are considering. He's maybe got a couple of options. It's a little less clear than, or a little more limited than some people have told me, but it's there.
How did you get to collab with Brandon Yates? We paid him. He opened up his commissions, and our lead animator just instantly slid into his DMs for Archie Sonic versus Paper. And yeah, we've talked about having him do the score for Hulk versus Asura. and
I just finished going through that game, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, he. I think we'll be able to work with him off and on in the future, but there's no like ongoing expectation of him being someone we work with regularly.
Those characters' win conditions are crazy. Hulk and Asura, or Mario and Archie Sonic?
Slid into his DMs. Isn't that what all the Yeet youngsters are saying?
Don't do that. We need to have Angry Birds versus the Fruit Ninja. Is the Fruit Ninja an actual character? I guess
It's your finger.
has to be. I think your finger beats Angry Birds. You control them with your finger.
True.
Like, canonically.
Who is Akechi versus Ing? Akechi is fighting Loki from the MCU.
That one's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Asura's Wrath is a great movie. Yes, it is. A lot of cutscenes. Who do we personally want to win in bracket? Personally, I want the character that nobody thinks can win to win. Like Wii Fit Trainer or something. Because it would be hilarious.
You know who would be a very cool person to take the bracket? Is Robin, by some miracle, coming out on top at the end of everything.
That would be cool. Robin is so cool. That animation is going to blow people away.
Yeah, we scripted that out together a few days ago, and I'm very happy with it. When will you will you include Ruby characters in Smash Bracket? I would love to do Ruby versus TMNT. That almost happened this season.
Very close.
Yeah.
I
Here's
think it's
something.
likely, though.
Do we need to rebrand Super Smackdown into a different name? Because
the
every time
wrestling.
you search for it, you get WWE. Or I guess
That might be a
SmackDown.
smart idea. It feels a little weird after the Kickstarter, but
Yeah, it does.
not that bad.
Anyway,
I have a lot of questions to go through on the Notion.
all right, while you pull those up, I'm going to answer one or two more. Maribel asks, which Smash Bracket are you excited for personally?
I think the closest one immediately is Robin versus Rosalina. Like, that one
Yeah.
is very cool.
It's very, very cool. That one, are we allowed to
Carrie
say
versus Ten,
how it's
too.
being animated, like the medium, or should we even stop on ones that we started production on?
I think we might want to hold off since our animations keep being in flux. I don't foresee any problems with this, but better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, that one's really cool. I'm also really excited for Wolf versus Incineroar whenever we do it, because everything in that animation is custom to us. We got Wolf, his Wolfin, the Wolfin Hunter, the Wolfin 2, all of his weapons from Star Fox, and Incineroar is also custom. But yeah. All right, let's get into some of the questions from
the Discord.
Discord.
So, how do we handle plot-induced stupidity? Is our first one.
Oh, by the way, I know the title of our stream is Reacting to Death Battle. We're going to get to that after we get through some of these questions. How do we react to plot-induced stupidity?
How do we handle it? Well, the thing is, I wouldn't say I don't believe in plot-induced stupidity, but I do feel like it's a really lazy answer.
It's like, this character isn't as strong as they typically are.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
I mean, obviously, there are definitely some cases where that's the only explanation, but I feel like giving yourself permission to use it freely tends to basically just give yourself permission to write off any feats or anti-feats you don't like. So I consider it, but as a last resort.
Yeah. I agree. I think that it can be a real thing, but ultimately it's something that happened. And you shouldn't use it to disqualify everything. But there gets to be a point that I've seen where people are like, this character isn't as strong as I'd like them to be. And they just constantly have plot-induced stupidity moments. And I think that might just be a stupid character.
There are a lot of stupid characters in fiction, though. It's pretty common to write someone who's really strong and then you don't know how to give them conflict, so you just make them forget how strong they are.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's tricky. That is something I've been meaning to address more thoroughly, though, in an article. So sometime soon, expect that. We are Are we doing Captain Falcon versus Pepsi Man for a joke?
No, it's a real battle. Here's the thing. Joke battles aren't a thing. People say Rob versus Lucina was a joke battle. That's just how that is how that fight would have gone.
You're right.
The Paul Blart versus Nacho, that's not a joke battle. That's real. Burt Macklin FBI versus Michael Scarn. That one's a joke battle. It's not happening.
All right. Why would something like Link's Flurry Rush be acceptable despite being given to the entire cast in Age of Calamity, but an ability possessed by the entire cast right off the bat is out of the question? And how does this differ from abilities such as Mario power-ups, which are able to be used by pretty much anything they touch?
I don't understand the question. Also, can you guys hear both of us all right?
I should probably speak up more as I read those. Basically, it's a good question, and it's a hard one to decide, and it's something that we've been meaning to address with more meaningful distinctions. We've got a couple of rules in the work for that. But I think we're probably going to end up easing up a little bit on multiplayer abilities or things that the entire cast can do, as long as it still feels like something that is actually representative of the character. So, I don't know. It's kind of a work in progress. You bring up good points. And we need to figure it out better.
We were actually just talking a couple weeks ago about refining our multiplayer rules.
Yeah. And I was just talking earlier this week about that stupid Peachette crown, which I realized exists and turns Toadette into Peach, but no one else. And it's giving me a bit of a crisis. So, Mario lore experts, help me out.
I hate that it exists. Oh, thank you so much, Joshua, for the donation. Idea for fight, Rick versus the Doctor. I think that would be a lot of fun. It would be hard to pull off, but if you pull it off well, and find some way to help the research team. Oh, dang. Joshua almost knocked Levi out of the donation spot. Stream boss. If you pull it off well, I think it could be a lot of fun. It would suck to research.
And how would we handle Toon Force like Bugs Bunny or The Mask, as our rules are way more grounded? Honestly, I think the answer is I would spend the research period crying in a closet and hope that everything works itself out.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
It's gonna take some specific addressing when we get to that point, and I hope we don't.
For the most part, though, I think it's going to come down to measure what we see and measure that against the character. Some characters are just goofy and can do stupid things even though they shouldn't be able to. But yeah, I imagine we kind of handle it straight.
We let Robot do the research for that episode.
Yes.
That's not a bad idea, Stylish. Maybe that would be an opportunity to expand the research team some more.
Yeah.
Foist it off on the new ones.
How are you guys going to count all of Doofenshmirtz's, all of his innators versus Eggman? One at a time.
I think there's a count on the wiki already, so
yeah,
it's pretty easy.
I think he means, will he get them? And
yes.
Yeah.
Obvious. I mean, maybe
the
not
real question is,
but
will he be 50 times the size of Eggman?
I think so.
I would hate that.
I think he has to be. Like, it happened.
Yeah.
He is.
That's... Anyway.
We could also have him accidentally increase Eggman's size right at the beginning.
Yeah.
What criteria needs to be met for a character's self-resurrection or similar abilities to be usable? Generally, we're operating off a sort of soft time limit of about a minute. Things right at the edge of that are a little iffy. But if someone can revive and get back in a fight within a minute, then it's quick enough to be meaningful.
Yeah. Like there's some characters like is Subaru his name from ReZero? Mm-hmm. He doesn't respawn where he is, right? He like Groundhog Days it.
Yeah, he theoretically can, and I think there have been points where he's gone straight to the danger again after respawning, but usually not. Yeah,
in a situation where like someone respawns and it sends them back to a checkpoint or something like that, that's not super usable. But if it's like a revive item in general, that would be great.
LDG Animation for the $50 donation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Out of the episodes that you are remaking from Season 0, Link vs. Ridley, Mario vs. Mega Man, and King Dedede vs. K. Rool, which ones are you most excited
Link
to
versus
remake?
Ridley.
I think so too.
Ridley is so cool, and I didn't properly portray how cool he is. And you are now the stream boss. Well done.
And Link is really cool.
Yeah, Link is really cool. Composite Link is like you went into a character creator and just picked all of the stupidest options and then had it work together in a cool way. I want to have the loft wing. I want to have the loft wing going through the air with Link while he's fighting off of its back.
I think there are so many cool things we could do.
He also has a flying hippo he can summon with a seed.
Why?
It's Link.
I think that Composite Link is going to look insane in his animation.
Yeah. And Ridley, the things I want to do differently are show, first off, how insanely fast he is. He's super fast, super agile. I would love it if we could make his spaceship work somehow.
Me too. He's got a spaceship that is bigger than the moon, so it has a black hole cannon too, or black hole tractor beam. That's what it is. He's just really cool.
And he's like a mastermind, like super, super intelligent in combat, and we didn't really show that last time.
So I think there's a lot we can improve with that, but also with all of them. So
yeah.
That's the one I'm most excited for, but I am excited for all of them.
And with Mario versus Mega Man, we decided that's too much research, so we're going to be doing Versus Battle Wikis profiles for them. They're going to be moving several trillion times the speed of light, and we like to animate things at actual speed. So that's only going to be about a second, but if you slow it down a lot, there's a lot.
We've actually got that animation pinned already in the Discord.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, I think it's in the research discussion channel.
I'm just messing around, but I did make that with our first battle. Is I sped it up so it says like, ready, go, game! So funny. Everyone's going to laugh.
We're not going to do that. We are researching that battle still.
Yeah, we are. I always forget I have to clarify stuff like that.
Yeah. What's your definition of dead?
I don't see it being relevant to a versus battle. Like, let's say you take somebody and cut off their head, and they're still alive, but they can't do anything. It doesn't matter if they're alive.
I actually don't care about death as a condition of victory. It's just death is one way to incapacitate people, and incapacitation is what lets them win.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. You know who's a good example of this, and is someone I unironically want to see in Smash Bracket, is Edward Cullen from Twilight. He has like insane healing factors. My wife freaking got me on these. But yeah, holy crap! Thank you so much.
Wow. Good job making a really enjoyable versus show. By the way, shout out to the incredibly slept on match. Father Pookie versus Praetor Amalthus. I have no idea who those are. The interactions between their abilities are some really fun food for thought, and it's not nearly as much of a stomp as some might think.
I'm going to look it up.
I don't know who they are, but Poochie reminds me of that Puka show on Disney XD. Do you remember that?
I do.
I recently found out that one got like a reboot series.
Father Poochie is from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Looks like that. I'm doing such a good job showing this. And then Praetor. Let's see. Praetor Amalthus.
I will say that matchup has great potential to make us stumble in the script, because I have no idea how to pronounce any of their names.
Xenoblade 2.
That is something that's a game that I've heard is just universally liked if you can get past the beginning, and I can't get past the beginning, but I want to.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for the donations. Already this stream we have about half of what we need for a short animation.
I wonder if we could make a tracker that's like, this much has been donated and it's made this much progress towards an animation.
I could do that right now as you read another question.
Great. Let's see. Why doesn't creation equal destruction? So
I screw this up every time I try it.
to answer the question or to make the tracker that you're doing?
To answer the question.
Gotcha. That's another one. I'm gonna get out a detailed write-up on it when we get to someone where it matters, who has like meaningful destruction or creation feats that would be a significant portion of their AP. Until then, basically, it's just that like you can't create matter like that. So there's nothing to compare it to for how it works. And then that means we're basically dealing with magic, and magic works really weirdly. So unless we see that, unless we've been shown how that magic works and how creation and destruction are related, we can't assume how it would work. There is no inherent rule of the universe saying that if you can create something, you can also destroy it.
Yeah.
I have not played Shin Megami Tensei 5 yet.
We don't play games anymore.
I would love to. I've been playing Path of Exile while I do my math and physics courses because it's a mindless game. So I've been getting a little gaming in.
I played Melee a bit today.
Oh, nice.
That game's always so good to go back to. That's not the best Smash game, but it's the most fun Smash game.
I just got Soul Calibur 6 to play with my wife sometimes, so
ooh,
get a couple
Soul
matches
Calibur.
there
Okay, YouTube tip: if you ever need footage and you just want here's the trick about YouTube: if you intentionally get something wrong or make something cursed on screen, then that drives comments, and then people make more comments, and that gets it in front of more people who make more comments. For example, on my Ink Thinks channel, I did Rise of Small Ant, and I talk about Minecraft, Pokemon, and something else. But with Minecraft, I show someone from Terraria, and from Pokemon, I show Agumon, and that's like 80% of my comments. Like, it doesn't detract from the video, but just that's my tip that I randomly got sidetracked on, is get a very small thing wrong intentionally. And if you ever see a mistake in Smash Bracket, that's why we did it.
And then you can tell people that all your mistakes are intentional. So it also covers you when you record Minecraft footage farming gold with a stone pickaxe.
Anyway.
Let's see. How would we handle in-universe scaling Dragon Ball, for example? It's going to be a case-by-case basis, probably. But it would have to have some serious proof that their scaling methods hold up just in general.
Yeah. Yeah, the universe would have to be internally consistent. And it can't just be... I don't think it could just be one character saying, this character is so much stronger than me, or something like that.
Dragon Ball has, their power levels and lots of multipliers. And I know that it's really consistent throughout the series in terms of, giving those numbers. But I also remember, casually at least, that it was not consistent in how it made sense. And so, yeah, I don't know. I would need to look into how it holds up across the feats we see from all the characters, and whether we can actually reduce that measurement or scaling system to something we can measure.
Let me take two of these real fast. First off, how are you handling Steve? You'll find out relatively soon. I'm actually editing that video right now. In general, Minecraft has a lot of things with its physics system that just aren't applicable to our own and can make certain things, by definition, uncalculable, meaning you just can't get a number on it unless you want to pretend that it works in a different way.
Or I think it might be more accurate to say you can get a number, but it's just so disconnected from our reality that it doesn't mean anything.
Right, yeah. And Minecraft is an example of that. So we've kind of handled it by keeping the universe consistent within itself, kind of self-contained, and then when it's time for whoever wins the battle royale to fight Villager, we have to look at how Pig would interact with the universe outside of Minecraft.
You guys are lucky Pig didn't make it in. I will say, I've gone through more Minecraft media than all of the Minecraft fans in our server have known existed. So we've definitely looked into everything for this.
Did you think that's a sentence you'd be saying 10 years ago if you had to write, where will I be in 10 years? Talk about how many Minecraft
how much money I've
yeah.
spent on Japanese Minecraft manga that I can't even read, and going through and trying to translate it myself.
Yeah.
That is a pain.
Real fast, let's talk about how we handle crossovers. Do we have that article out yet?
No, we don't. We've been talking about that internally. Basically, we're not going to allow scaling in crossovers. So if we go to, say, Marvel versus Capcom, Ryu's not going to be scaling to Thanos or Marvel high tiers who are in that game or anything, even if there's stuff in the cutscene. And then the other thing is we're going to be more, a little more strict with outliers in general. Mm-hmm. Other than that, they're fair game.
Yep. We do have avatar characters, Iroh's and Smash Bracket. Thank you, Dr. Hibbotime, for enforcing spam. I keep seeing this question pop up. What do I think of Five Nights at Freddy's and Springtrap in versus battle debates? I don't know, like FNAF World or anything like that. I think that's the only place that they'd get actual feats without having to invent stuff.
No, they got a lot for other stuff, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know it. I just know that every time someone says that, Robot comes in and tells them they're dumb. But not like that, because he's nicer than me sometimes.
Gotcha. And we are using Minecraft Dungeons.
I think that any series can be looked at in terms of versus debates, though, even when there's not a lot of obvious feats. I think that's kind of part of the fun, and that not everyone needs to be like crazy powerful or even made for combat. Mm-hmm. Which is why we're doing Light Yagami versus Little Mac.
True.
Awesome.
I'm really excited for that one. It's coming along nicely.
That is also a joke. Please
Claymation.
Don't.
I would love to do Claymation one day. Wallace and Gromit versus...
Claymation would be so cool, but
yeah,
it would break the bank, I think. What distance do fights start at? We don't have a set distance. When, like Ink mentioned how Wario versus Lucas came down to distance, when something's like that, we basically try to debate it from arbitrary distances and try and think of who would win in those cases, and then combine it overall. So in that match, we're like, who would win the most at very close range, at medium range, at long range?
Right. Which is kind of what it came down to
Yeah.
with Wario versus Lucas.
But in general, it's not an important conversation.
Stylish, yeah, go ahead. We'll check the Discord for topics before we get over to reactions.
Yep. How do we handle immortality? I've actually got an article written up about that. If someone could find my Medium account and link the article, that would be great.
I've got it.
Otherwise, the short version is that immortality is a hard bar to actually meet, and death isn't the only way that someone can win, so it doesn't matter too much. It just means that the opponent needs to be more creative.
Let's see.
How do bracket rules handle situations like character A beats character B, but only in their super form, but character B could beat character A before they get into their super form? I think the question here is that if you started the fight in different ways, the victor would change. In that case, it's going to be kind of similar to what we were talking about with the distance the fight starts, where we just debate a few different situations. So we have situations where someone starts in their super form or starts out of it, and see who takes it most in both cases.
Right. And it's hard to figure out exactly how to handle those. Yeah, shout out to Tank, Flaming Kitty. He helped with probably 90% of the thumbnails that you'll see for Smash Bracket. And then Super Smackdown, we have an artist doing those. So
do you shout them out in the descriptions?
I do.
Oh,
yeah.
Good.
But yeah.
Let's see. What is a matchup you hate but everyone else likes?
Oh, I know. I was just thinking of one.
You were talking about Ray versus Korra.
I don't hate that one. I feel like there's so many matchups that are thrown around for a character, then they become like common knowledge for that character. Like Ray's matchup is Korra, Korra's matchup is Ray, and then it shuts down discussion outside of that. And I think that's dumb.
Scroll up a bit, JT Gamer. It was posted earlier.
Yep.
For me, the matchups that I hate are really just matchups where I don't know the characters well enough. So
I thought of one. I don't.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I mean that was basically it. I feel like I can appreciate most matchups if I learn the character.
One that I saw that I don't like is Kirby versus Cthulhu. I think it's very funny in concept, but Cthulhu mythos characters don't work in a versus context. I feel like that defeats the entire purpose of them. Also, I saw Aang versus Lloyd from Ninjago, and that one isn't exciting to me because Lloyd is like that big. So you either have to compromise accuracy or you have to have a crazy size difference.
You missed the write-up that person made where they actually showed that he isn't proven to be that small or even made of Legos or have Legos in the environment. Maybe he's made of Legos but doesn't have it in the environment, something like that. I don't know. Either way, it sounds like it's a little more ambiguous than you'd think. The real question is whether he is taller than Banjo.
I still think Banjo is 6 inches tall.
It's so consistent.
Even with his feats, right?
Yeah, like measuring his feats, everything came out more consistent if he was tiny. It just
Size of the dinosaur.
how fast he had to run to be on water.
Let's see. Hey guys, keep up the great work. Question, can a book character get into Super Smackdown, or do they need media/comic pages for it? Well, funny you should ask. By the way, thank you so much for the donation. Yes, book characters can get in, and we are having one in this season for Super Smackdown. Vin from Mistborn. But there's a lot of book characters I'd love to see. I want to see Percy Jackson, although I guess he has media outside of that. I'd love to see Drit Storedon.
Basically everyone from Mistborn, because that series is amazing.
That series is so good.
But yeah, we love books. I feel like they're very underrepresented in the versus scene from what I've seen. So I think that's something we're going to want to do more of eventually, but are also kind of limited because book characters don't have sprites or 3D models. So it's an obstacle to overcome.
Yeah. Let's see. Mr. Stupid asks, how many of the characters you researched, their interpretation, how many of your interpretations of the characters you've researched beat Death Battle, essentially? So, like, our Sephiroth versus Death Battle Sephiroth.
I don't compare them much.
Yeah,
So
I don't
actually know.
I like Death Battle casually, but we don't look into stats the same way. Even, like, we just have different assumptions, different rules for scaling one character to another. Lemon's working on a way to kind of change the equation we do for well, you can talk a bit more about that if you want.
Yeah, I'm working on I'm redoing the destruction values we use to calculate feats. That's going to be meaningless for most people, but basically it's going to slightly change the numbers of how impressive feats are, destruction feats specifically, in favor of being more accurate, but a little less immediately impressive.
Well, tell them what you were talking about with how, like, the current one exists.
So, okay.
So, like, treat it as if they know nothing.
To get into it a little more, the way that we calculate feats, for destruction at least, we look at the volume of what's destroyed, how much of it gets broken, and we look at how broken it becomes, and then we try to fit it into one of 3 categories, at least on the low end. The higher end stuff is fine and also rarely used, but we either say it's fragmentation or violent fragmentation or pulverization. And one problem you will notice is that those names don't help you decide anything. There are descriptions of when you're supposed to use each of those tiers, but they're too vague to be consistent. When you look at the math that it's based on properties of objects that don't actually have much to do with the type of destruction that we're looking at. Fragmentation, for instance, is based on the amount of strength it requires to, like, cut through something, like with a saw or like a metal cutter thing.
Metal cutter thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's the scientific name. Anyway, it doesn't work super great, or, I mean, it works okay, but it doesn't have very solid foundations. So what I'm doing is I'm using Toughness, which is a property of materials, dealing with like how much deformation they can handle before they break. I'm going off an idea that someone posted over on the Versus Battle forums, actually, where they'd proposed switching over to the system. The consensus was basically that would be really cool, but we have way too many profiles to switch, so it's not happening. But we don't. So we're at the point where we have the freedom to make things a little more accurate, which is something we want to strive for.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, right now I'm in the process of trying to calculate that value for all the materials that we need, and then we're going to be using that going forward.
Yeah, so that could... Well, the thing is, even if it gets lower numbers than somewhere else, it's just not going to be comparable anymore. It's comparing apples and oranges, just different takes on a character. Really, yeah, it's just not going to be... Not a fair comparison, just not a sensible one to compare where we put a character to where another person might put a character if they're using different calculations.
That said, Death Battle puts all of their characters in front of way more people than us, so I think they win all of it. All of their characters beat ours, because more people see it.
Oh, gotcha. Sub count goal for the end of the year. I would love to get 20,000 subs on this channel.
Sheer strength is different than saws.
Yeah.
I said saws and it was wrong. It's more like
Wait, Pop, it's a new video on new fights?
cutting. Oh, he has one? We should pull that up today. Will I host or take over a future episode?
Alright, someone's messing with me. This just says, I pooped my pants. There's no Smash Bracket video. Unless...
Maybe
if this is
we
our...
made him poop his pants.
Let's see.
I don't think we're involved in him pooping his pants.
I hope not.
No, it's true. Earlier. Why don't you just send a link in the Discord?
Yeah. Anyway.
There's a few things that we're working on changing about our calculation system, and I'll have a big write-up about all of it when they're ready. It's a long-term process, though.
How many watts per centimeter squared could I punch with?
I don't know. Not that many.
The other day, Lemon was real out of it and holding his phone above his head, just saying, what would, like 1 watt per centimeter squared feel like?
I held it up high enough that I could calculate the kinetic energy of the fall to be 1 joule. I'm like, I wonder what a joule feels like. And so I dropped my phone on my face. It hurt for the answer, but not that much.
Anyway.
We have a lot more questions to go through, though.
Let's kind of do a speed round.
All right. Have you ever thought about doing equalized stat matchups, where the abilities and arsenal are the primary focus? No. Stats are a very important part of the character.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's very fun.
How do you select animators and voice actors?
We beg. No, we have a animator script for an audition that we send. It's with Kirby versus Bowser is what we typically do, and then we'll say or tell the animator, give us a time frame you can get this by, and communicate with us as we go. Then they'll kind of go through with that. And then if everything goes well with the audition process, then they're on the team. We actually just brought someone new on the team. He's a YouTuber, Gino Whirl, and I'm really excited for that. Voice actors, we're still narrowing down that process.
I see a couple of questions about the implementation of Toughness, by the way. I'll have that broken down when we actually implement the system. For now, it's just a work in progress. You can ask me in Discord if you have more detailed questions.
Join the beta channel if you need, unless it's invite only.
I don't think I've posted about it there. I probably will soon, though, once I get the materials all figured out. So, what's your favorite Sans matchup?
Sans matchup?
Yeah.
Sans isn't fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he has fun matchups.
Here's the thing.
I haven't put any thought into it.
Sans, I need to think about it. I don't like Sans versus Koro Sensei. I hear a lot of people say it.
Really?
Koro Sensei is way too fast.
Yeah. I don't get the...
Wait, why do you...
I don't care about...
The idea is it's two characters with insanely high speeds.
Sans with insanely high speeds?
You can't hit him with a knife as a child. Oh, thank you so much, SoulZ. I'm really glad you're excited for Minecraft Battle Royale. I am also very excited for it. I'm learning how to do basic 3D animation for the editing, actually.
Yeah, he showed me what he was working on, and it looks incredible. So we'll see if that pans out.
Yay.
Who would win, Fox McCloud or Luke Skywalker? Probably Fox, but I don't know enough about Star Wars to say.
I feel like... Let's see. In their ships, I feel like the R-Wing composited would beat the X-Wing.
Shed Ninja versus Sans. Yeah, that's my new favorite Sans matchup.
Who's Shed Ninja?
The Pokemon in Pokemon who has Wonder Guard. I think it's Wonder Guard. So he's immune to anything that isn't super effective, but can only ever have 1 HP.
Gotcha. Lots of people are saying Luke, and also lots of people have no idea what they're talking about with Fox. Let's see. So what does... Let's debate this real fast. We'll set a 5-minute... How long can we dedicate to this?
As long as you want.
Okay. You argue for Luke. Pull up his respect thread.
For Luke, fine. All right, respect.
All right, and then I don't know if I can do a YouTube poll, but we'll see. We'll see how people feel.
Oh no, he's got a Comic Vine respect thread. Those ones are always better, but they're so long.
Okay, I'll make my opening argument for Fox. All right, so first off, this is coming from someone who doesn't even like the Star Fox games, but Fox has so.
Yeah, right.
I don't. I think the universe is cool.
Ink sent me his Christmas list.
Objection. Irrelevant. Okay, I'm pausing. At this point, I'm obligated to become a collector because I've had to get so much obscure crap for Star Fox, and I'm like, any other franchise is going to be too well established to actually meaningfully collect things. Anyway, getting back to it. So, Fox. His biggest strength is going to be his vehicles, specifically the R-Wing. If you do a composite R-Wing, he's got things like time stops or vortex guns. He can cool things down to almost absolute zero. He can heat things up to 100 or 1500 Celsius instantly. He's got all sorts of crazy things like that, as well as being able to travel across the solar system, the Lilac system, which is way bigger than our solar system, very quickly. And then outside of the R-Wing, he's still got a lot of really solid things. His staff is crazy. He has unlimited intangibility with it. He's got revives from the Baphomet Dads. He can cause earthquakes, shoot flares, shoot ice. He's skilled with sword combat. He's an expert in hand-to-hand combat. He likes pizza. And yeah, he also has his weapons from multiplayer mode, if you count those. The multiplayer in Star Fox is really interesting. It's said to be a training simulation made by Space Dynamics, who are the ones who provide them all of their weapons. And so you can see things like the Space Dynamics logo on the weapons like the homing launcher, as well as other things in multiplayer, like seeing technology in the overworld in story mode, then once you finish that, unlocking it in multiplayer. So there's an argument to be made that the multiplayer is canon, and you get a lot of really cool things there, like cloaking devices, or yeah, the Demon Sniper Rifle. He has anti-aircraft things. And yeah, that's my argument for Fox. Oh, physical durability, by the way. Physical durability, without the R-Wing, can survive boulders exploding. R-Wing durability has survived planets exploding.
Thank you, LDG Animation.
Wow, thank you so much.
An update on the reaction videos to Smash Bracket episodes. Some of them got corrupted, so I'll be uploading the ones that aren't corrupted.
Awesome. I'm excited to see those, man. Thank you so much.
And have a good night.
Yeah, Fox is super versatile. Yeah, anyway.
Okay. So, I'm going to be underselling Luke because I don't know the character and have only had time to scroll through the respect thread. So, to compensate for that, I say we double everything that I find.
Okay.
So, speed, if we're being very generous, I believe that he should get light speed because he can deflect blaster lasers.
Okay, you know as well as I do, blaster lasers are not going to hold up at light speed.
Not at all. That's why I said if we're being generous.
Okay, Fox can dodge lasers. If we're going off of that, sorry, I'll let you make your statement.
I don't. Okay, he used telekinesis to. What is he doing here? To hold a black hole in place, I believe. Or he. Oh, I think he hit something with a black hole. But there's a big note on this saying it's not an actual black hole. So, I don't think that it'll be vaguely impressive. He is able to lift ships like an X-Wing with a lot of effort. He can see TIE fighters in slow motion. Those move about 1,500 kilometers an hour. I don't know what that is in Mach speed or anything. Let's see, 1,500 kilometers an hour is about... a kilometer is half a mile, right?
Something
700, like so almost Mach 1. A little over Mach 1.
What can reach that?
The TIE fighters. And he's holding it in place. He can recreate a ship using the Force. I think he can have an invisible Force ship then. That's cool. He fights people a lot and can pull things with the Force. I think his biggest thing is that he's going to be able to mind wipe Fox.
That would do it.
So,
would he think to do that, though? If here's my trump card. Fox can turn into a dinosaur, a very tiny, cursed-looking one, whenever he wants.
I don't believe he has ever Force memory wiped a dinosaur.
There you go.
Checkmate, Luke.
No, I think Luke probably wins. The R-Wing would probably beat...
oh, he can teleport.
Luke's ship. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much hope for Luke.
Hand to hand, I could see Luke taking it. Although the intangibility is really strong. And Fox can do things like just stand inside of lava or take hits from smart bombs. Like he's got...
The smart bombs are going to put him way above anything Luke could dish out.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like the mind trick would be his only hope.
The true Star Fox feat, though, actually comes from Peppy. When the team, they're trying to get inside of the Aperoid planet, which is basically this huge alien planet full of this evil alien race that's trying to take over the universe. And they're actively, like, taking over parts of the universe. So, big threat. And the team's like, well, we need to get in here, but there's a barrier in the way. What are we going to do? Barrier, I hardly know her. And so Peppy comes in from off screen. He's like, his guns are blazing. And he takes the Great Fox, that ship that you can fight on top of in Smash Bros., and just slams the entire thing into the planet. It starts exploding. He reacts like dodging lightning preemptively. That's poor animation, but they made it. And then Fox goes, Slippy, no, you can't die. Which, I mean, it sounds like, no, don't die. But he says, you can't die. Now, obviously, that's immortality. And you could say, no, it isn't, because he immediately dies after. Slippy, no protection, really, because the ship's broken, is on this planet that Fox is inside of when it detonates.
You keep saying Slippy. It's Pepper.
Peppy. Peppy is on the surface of this planet that detonates, like, totally pulverized to dust. And then he's all right. Like, Fox survived that in his R-Wing, but Peppy was just... He can't die.
To be clear, Fox's team was flying away from this planet as it was exploding at top speed, and Peppy got launched by the explosion further away than their ships made it. So, like, he was on the planet, maybe in, like, an escape pod, and just gets rocketed out. Way less protection than anyone else.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to this. We can...
What is the density of Ink's forehead?
2, I think. I think it's 2.
Watch this for some reason. No. That is Ronald McDonald versus Colonel Sanders Mugen. Why was Lemon rejected from Versus Battle Wiki? I wasn't. My application for a form account was denied, and it's because I didn't follow the instructions to create a form account, because they weren't on the page to create a form account, in my defense. So I could probably get one just fine if I were to follow those instructions.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Pokemon? I think
Farfetch'd.
Swampert. I like Farfetch'd's animation.
think Farfetch's existence is hilarious.
Evolution. It is fun. That's not relevant now. Thank you, Ender Geo.
Oh, thank you. Have you seen Animation Rewind's Kara versus FNAF? I've not.
Me neither. I don't have time to watch other channels' animations, I'm afraid. I basically only do it when we react in these streams. Watch this for some reason. The Framemakers Kickstarter trailer.
Framemakers is very cool.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. I'm excited to see it.
All right.
Have we watched the Power Scaling 101 series? What do you think? I've watched a few of those videos, and I think they're fine. I don't necessarily agree with their entire methodology, but I do appreciate... He seems to have things really thought out in a way that I respect.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes, let's see. Have we thought about streaming a game?
I've thought about it.
We've talked about it a bit. It's just, I don't know if it'll happen. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not closed off to it. I guess if people want it, sure. Which basic Mario enemy would you want to use in Smackdown? Does Piranha Plant count? We're already doing that.
Not in Smackdown.
I guess not. I don't have any desire to, but if I had to choose one, who would it be? I think I would choose Thwomps.
I would do Shy Guy versus the SCP Shy Guy.
I'd do Thwomps versus Fix-It Felix. Because...
That's great.
Is there any franchise you want to use on SmackDown but can't find a matchup for it? No.
No.
It's easy to find matchups.
Yeah. If you're only looking for a list of a bunch of connections, then I could see that being hard. But some of the coolest matchups don't have a lot of connections, I think.
Let's see.
All right, and then we got just a couple more, and we will be doing.
Would we be able to use Patreon's me in animations involving me's? I don't know, but that sounds awesome. So I want to look into it. Like, have people create me's and then use it in our me animations.
Oh, yeah, maybe. That'd be cool. I kind of think that we should use Matt, but I'm all right with that.
At least as, like, cameos.
Yeah. Thoughts on Biffweed's review on Bill versus Sephiroth? I thought it was super cool of him to make it. Seeing reviews and reactions on YouTube is like this weird place for me of being like, wow, this is so cool and so motivating. And also, holy crap, there's like this huge number of people talking about what we're doing in such intense detail that it kind of freaks me out at the same time. But his reaction was really fun, and it was really nice of him to make it. He didn't need to do that, and yeah.
I liked it too. I think he missed the point of the chicken wing nickname, but I don't really fault him for that, and I totally understand it being annoying.
I also kind of thought it was annoying.
I mean, it was annoying,
but that's how Bill
bills. It's the point. That's just what he does.
Anyway.
Let's see. There's that one again.
And Tasty we already answered, but yeah, we are using dungeons.
How close is the finishing touches on the animation of the Minecraft Battle Royale?
It's good to go, basically.
Yeah, I think the animation's totally done. It's just...
There's a couple revisions that we're waiting on, and if we don't get them in time, they're things that I can use or recreate in After Effects myself.
Great.
I'm probably going to touch up the sound design and stuff as well.
Once Smash Bracket is over, will you guys focus on Smackdown as its versus battle show like Death Battle? We don't really know. We're going to keep going in some form, but haven't decided how yet. I humbly request Lemon or Ink to do an impression of Kermit the Frog. Thank you for listening.
Hey, it's like me. I'm Kermit the Frog. Dang it. I was trying to make it so intentionally bad, but it was just like this uncanny valley of, it's Kermit the Frog, Hey, look, I'm Kermit.
Wonderful. Will me costumes be in Smash Bracket? No.
Nope.
How do you feel about all of the Smackdowns? Cringe or based?
Our matchups?
Yeah.
I'm excited about basically all of them.
Mm-hmm. There's a few I'm not as excited about just because I don't know the characters very well, but I'm sure I will be once I start looking into them.
I am so excited for Iroh versus Oogway and Vin versus Shang-Chi.
I know. No one cares about that second one, and they're all wrong.
They are wrong.
Let's see. Who wins between Sans versus Shed Ninja? Shed Ninja. Are you a B? Can you yeet? And can... Nope. Okay. Nope. Not finishing that. Can we have a deconfirmed fighters bracket after bracket's done? That would be every fighter. So, no.
Yeah, I got a couple ideas for what to do after bracket's done, but that's not one of them.
What do you think of Imposter versus Fall Guy? I
don't think much of it.
Yeah. I've given it no thought.
Then last one on here. We'll do Ganondorf, and then Tink is typing one.
Should I make videos reviewing my thoughts on bracket or Smackdown so far?
Yes, that is one of the most helpful things you can do for our channel, is making video reviews and sharing those out.
We love seeing it, and I think Ink has shared like every one of those that he's seen on the community tab. So,
which version of Shang-Chi are you using? We haven't decided yet.
We're absolutely including the MCU to some capacity because that's the cool one with the cool choreography. And I know the rings work differently in a way that allows that choreography, but I don't know if it'll be the only one we use.
Yeah.
And that is finally all of our questions.
Yep.
Thank you guys. Sorry that we haven't done a stream in a while, so these got really backed up.
Lots of catching up to do. Real fast. Billy Bob Jones wants to know if we can go more into creation not equaling destruction. That might be better to get into in the Discord server.
Yeah, ask me there, and I'll talk to you about it there, but not in the stream, I think. We don't want to get too bogged down, since a lot of people aren't going to care about that.
All right, so...
Just because it's too deep, not because it's a dumb question.
Sora versus LeBron James is a massive stomp. LeBron scales to Looney Tunes, who scale to the Persona mythology. All right, so let's open up some Death Battle.
Is that matchup based on their foot size?
I don't want to think about it.
I think that's the connection.
Do you guys have a preference of what Death Battle we watch?
I've seen a lot of recommendations. But,
I feel like, let's see.
I'm vetoing Flash versus Sonic because I don't want to give insight onto our battle when it coming out fairly soon.
Yeah. Well, here's a more general question. Do you guys want to see characters that we know something about and so we can add interesting commentary to? Or would you rather see us react to characters that we don't know much about? Hold up one finger for the first option, 2 fingers for the second option.
We have you on camera so we can see.
Yes. I put the new Pop-It video in content sharing. Oh, I had seen that. It was the one from like a month ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
2. Wait, I forgot what the options are. Thank you, Joshua, for the donation.
I also forgot what you told them to do. Someone remind us.
I guess I'll ask you. Do you want to see characters that we don't know much about, or characters that we have something we can comment on?
I prefer when I know at least one of the characters.
All right, then let's...
I think that was the option that most people are choosing as well.
Let's find characters that we've talked about before. So if you guys can think of a character that we've talked about on Smash Bracket before.
Kirby versus Boo.
We've done that one.
Oh, have we?
Yep.
I've got such a great memory. Thank you, Rob.
King DDD versus Wario could be interesting.
That would be. We've done both of them now.
Let's see. DDD versus Wario. Ryu versus Jin.
Let's do DDD versus Wario.
All right. Let's do it. Fox versus Bucky. I would love to do that one as well. I'm somewhat of a scientist myself when it comes to Star Fox.
We should do that one first because I think it's shorter.
Okay.
and less research.
Because
it was old, not because it was bad.
Boom. All right, eventually, this is going to blow your mind. So, Fox versus Bucky Barnes.
I was thinking, I knew it wasn't this, but I was thinking it was MC, or like Marvel Bucky.
Gotcha.
I was so confused.
All right. Yeah, then let's play around with it, make sure we can get the audio to a good level.
Our chat isn't showing up in that box.
Oh, I think I need to just drag it upward. There we go.
Nice.
And...
Opinions on other Versus shows. I respect anyone who is dedicating themselves to do something like this.
I saw a Versus show today, just real fast. It didn't have an animation. It was analysis only. But it was Spider-Man versus Miraculous Ladybug, and it was so good. Like, the analysis was really well put together. I felt like it was relatively grounded. Let's see. I'm going to share it here, and then everybody go say, hey, Smash Bracket sent us here. And then it'll be like a party. But yeah, I was really, really impressed with it. I enjoyed it a lot, even if I disagreed with some of the stuff. Yeah, Raptor. Cool. Yeah, so this was a really old battle. They don't necessarily stand by their old battles anymore. I listened to the Death Battle podcast a few days ago, where they talk a bit about their older battles. And basically, Ben Singer, the guy who voices Wiz, he made every episode by himself in 2 weeks. He would do all of the research. He would take that to Chad, who plays Boomstick, and they would debate it. And so research, writing, recording, and editing the Death Battle was the first week. And then for the second week, he'd actually animate it.
That's crazy.
I think this was after he was done animating, but still, it was a pretty crazy process early on. So I imagine that there's a couple things that aren't going to hold up, but that's totally fine.
Good night, Stylish. Thanks for helping.
See you, Stylish. And yeah, I know this is done by another animator, but still, early Death Battle is a different beast and should be handled accordingly. All right, let's get started.
This episode of Death Battle is brought to you by Lumosity.
So I'm going to go ahead. 1 sec.
In the depths of space, who knows what awaits
All right.
mankind?
Probably some brain-sucking alien.
How's this audio?
An introduction to my fist.
But what if the final frontier was a little more furry?
Fox McCloud, captain of the Star Fox Commandos.
And Bucky
Audio is
O'Hare,
echoing a
captain
little
of
loud.
Galactic-wide Rebellion.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to
I could just turn down the
armor
speaker.
and skills to find
Oh, yeah,
out
do
who
that.
would win a death battle. This episode of Death Battle is brought to you by Lumosity.
Let's see. Okay, so that should be a bit better, no echo.
In the depths of space, who knows
you still hear an
what
echo?
awaits mankind?
Probably some
I
brain-sucking
agree
aliens who
that,
need an introduction
we
to
need
my
more
fist.
Star Fox
But what
matchups.
if the final frontier was a little more
I also agree.
furry?
Fox McCloud, captain of the Star Fox Commandos.
And Bucky
Is it
O'Hare,
Death
captain of
Battle or our
Galactic-wide
audio that's
Rebellion.
echoing?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons,
now it's
armor,
good.
and skills to find out who
Okay,
will
cool.
win a death battle.
All right.
This episode.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Fox versus Bucky O'Hare from early Death Battle.
Episode of Death Battle is brought to you
Fox
by
is probably
Lumosity.
the Smash Bracket character I know the most about. Just because I've kind of defaulted to doing a lot of his research because I'm a masochist, I guess.
In the depths of space, who knows what awaits mankind?
Probably
Alright.
some brain-sucking aliens who need an
I'd
introduction
be interested
to
to
my
see them
But
do
what
Death,
if the
or
final
to see them do
frontier was a little
Star Fox
more
again in Death
furry?
Battle.
Fox
Yeah.
See where
McCloud, captain of
they
the
had him
Star
now.
Fox Commandos.
And Bucky O'Hare, captain of a galactic-wide rebellion.
Star
He's
Fox is
Wiz and
interesting
I'm
because a lot of
Boomstick.
its best
And it's
feats
our job to
rely
analyze their
on
weapons,
the size
armor,
of the
and
solar
skills
system.
to find out
At
who
least
would
for
win
speed.
a death battle.
Fox's dad is not dead.
It's
He
about
is a
time
whale.
you showed up, Fox.
I'll do my best.
In his youth, Fox was a
Alright.
pilot prodigy studying at the Cornerian Flight Academy. He was raised by his single father, James, who founded a team of mercenaries known throughout the universe as Star Fox.
With Pigma, the ugliest pig you've ever seen.
That's just like the most blatantly evil looking person you'll ever see. Like,
He's not trying
you
to
can
hide
only
it.
feel so bad.
And Peppy, a rabbit older than the greeters at Walmart.
But it wasn't long before something went horribly wrong.
Captions.
The Lilat system had endured
Yeah.
decades of peace, but rumblings of civil war stirred. The empire of Planet Venom was rising with their new leader, Andross.
A giant evil monkey with Rayman hands.
Fearful of triggering a civil war, the Cornerian Republic secretly hired the Star Fox freelancers
So
to
Andross is
investigate.
easily
But upon
their
arrival,
most
James
iconic
was
villain,
betrayed
but also
by Pigma,
probably
who
not
was
as impressive
secretly
as
in
the
league with the Monkey Mogul.
Which is why pigs
Maybe.
are for eating and nothing else.
Depends on your interpretation of a few events.
Outraged at the Cornerian government for refusing to respond, Fox McCloud abandoned the academy.
So
Under
that's the
Pepe's
Nintendo
wing,
Power
he
Pop
formed a new Star Fox team alongside fellow dropouts Falco Lombardi and Slippy Toad. The result
Slippy
was a
is
squad
insane.
like nothing seen before.
They all are.
So, going into this part of the analysis, something that's going to be a bit interesting is this was before the official release of Star Fox 2, which has a lot of their best feats in terms of speed. At least as far as the R-Wing. I don't know if they'll give him the R-Wing. This was also before Star Fox 0, which didn't give them much on foot, but did give some more feats to, like, the Landmaster. But they still had Assault, where they could pull stuff from, and Adventures.
You just remember the release dates of all these games.
Fox pilots an R-Wing, a nimble starfighter with a lot of power. It has twin plasma
Star Fox
lasers and
2,
can carry
well,
up to 9
the
smart
canon for the
bombs,
series is
each of
weird.
which can take out
It's
an
canon in
entire
our
squadron.
series, though.
Yeah,
There's arguably like 3 different timelines going on.
yeah, the series is basically rebooted with every entry. And so if you're trying to talk about what's canon, you have to just choose a timeline. And I don't think that's fun or relevant. The best way, I think, to do it is just look at official representations of a character, which Star Fox 2 had. And it created things that were later substantiated in later series, such as introducing the armor or light R-Wing, which you can also see later on. But yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to comment on the R-Wing's speed.
Fox pilots an R-Wing, a nimble starfighter with a lot of power. It has twin plasma lasers.
So this speed right here, Mach 4.2, that's an interesting number. The place they get that, they didn't calculate it. It comes from the official schematics of the R-Wing. But there's a bit of an asterisk on that, because the R-Wing isn't just made for Star Fox, it's the standard ship for the Cornerian army. And so that's what the schematics were for, was for the Cornerian army, but then Slippy Toad, the god Slippy Toad, decided to monkey around with their team's R-Wings and made them much, 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 much crazier.
You know my favorite thing about Slippy? We get this from Starlink. Is that you meet up with these people in the game, and they're introducing you to this material, and they're like, this material is so crazy, it lets us bend physics, we can use it to go faster than light. And Slippy's like, oh, that's really cool, I made things go faster than light on my own. He didn't need it at all, and then he incorporates it just to flex on him.
I will now do my cover of Slippy Toad in that game with my favorite quote. Corneria cake! It has Slippy's favorite dessert ever. It's like a giant spiky egg that you crack open with a wrench and there's cupcakes inside. And he sees it and just loses his crap. He's like, Corneria cake! And runs over. Everyone's like, Slippy, that's gross. It was just floating around in space.
It was just in space?
I think it was delivered to him by Andrew. Is that Andross's nephew? But it was just outside. Ink now needs to voice. Yeah, I don't know why it says single line of text. Anyway.
And can carry up to 9 smart bombs, each of which can take out an entire squadron in just one shot. It also creates a reflector shield when Fox does well, you know.
Do a barrel roll.
What do you think?
Actually, a barrel roll is when the plane spins in a helix.
What's the
path,
best,
as if wrapping around the outside
smart
of the barrel?
bomb feat? Is that gonna
Fox's
be
trademark maneuver,
Adventures?
in which he spins
There's
the
a
fighter
lot
in
of
place,
candidates,
is
I'm not
technically
sure.
called an aileron roll.
Can't let you do
So,
that,
fun fact,
wizard.
as you do this,
Do
the
what?
R-Wing can
Ruin the
deflect
joke.
projectiles.
Regardless,
it can also
the
turn
R-Wings are
invisible,
equipped with 4
things like
advanced
that.
G diffusers,
Or
which
not
reduce
invisible,
gravitational
intangible.
forces on pilots in flight. Even
It
so, the ultra-fast
specifically
R-Wings exert
deflects
enormous
things when you
pressure.
barrel
Exposure to
roll
intense G
because
forces causes
it's
blood
like
to drop from a
harnessing the
pilot's
G
brain to his
diffuser.
feet.
Wait, this
To
is
prevent
fake.
and thus fly their R-Wings to the best of their ability,
sorry, what they're
the
talking
Star
about
Fox
here.
team actually amputated their legs.
No, they
replacing
didn't amputate their legs. They're boots. That's said all the time, but it's a fan theory that's been disproven and actively dismissed by the creators multiple times. Yeah, they're just metal boots, not amputated, and nothing to do with G-forces or anything like that.
I think they might be wrong, the creators, like they are with Banjo.
I think you can see Fox's feet in the Nintendo Power comic that they show on screen.
I don't like that.
Oh, I do.
Diffusers, which reduce
Seeing
gravitational
characters' feet
forces on pilots in
always
flight.
bothers me.
Even
The G
so,
diffusers
the
are crazy
ultra-fast
though,
R-Wings
so
exert
that's how
enormous
the
pressure.
pilots
Exposure
stay
to
conscious
intense
inside the
G-forces
R-wing.
causes blood
But
to drop
it's
from a
also what
pilot's
gives the
brain to
R-wing
his
all
feet.
of its durability.
To prevent this and
it's
thus fly
really,
their
really,
R-Wings
really
to the
good
best
at
of their
taking strong
ability,
hits
the
one
Star
at a
Fox
time
team actually
because it just
amputated
disperses
their
the hit,
legs,
everywhere.
replacing them with cybernetics.
It's also strangely
Holy shit,
consistent
that's some
with
hardcore
negative
dedication.
mass, or negative mass matter specifically, different than anti-matter. But I don't know if that'll ever make it into our episodes. But
Probably not.
it's a very interesting concept.
Yeah. So
When Fox isn't engaged
Oh,
in
okay,
an
here we
aerial dog fox fight, he relies on his trusty blaster pistol, which he
So are they giving them Smash Bros feats? We got the blaster, which
The barrier is definitely a Smash Bros thing.
yeah. So the barrier is actually an interesting topic because it is it's a reference to the R-Wing's ability to deflect things as it does a barrel roll. But you never see it in a mainline Star Fox game until Star Fox Zero, which wasn't out here. It's never used, but it's hanging off of Fox's hip.
Huh.
So yeah. Blaster, he's got a lot of really crazy weapons from Assault. I feel like Assault doesn't do as much for him on his feet, though, as Adventures.
It lets him get shot by R-Wings.
The staff is pretty crazy.
always
yeah,
carries.
that's true.
The
This
staff
little
is
beauty
insane.
has been heavily
Which they
modified
didn't
over the
touch
years
on
and
at
can
all, I
charge
think.
up a super
Not
powerful
yet.
shot.
I doubt they
Fox
will. No one's
also
played
carries
Adventures.
two portable G
not a game.
diffusers. One acts as an all-purpose reflector, though he cannot move or attack while using it. The second is a booster pack for highly maneuverable flight. These G diffusers allow Fox to manipulate his own gravity to perform two superhuman fighting moves: the Speedy Fox Illusion and the Fire Fox.
Fox has taken down entire armies
Oh,
on his own,
there it is.
and unlike the old dead
Moves.
So here's
The
something real
Speedy
fast.
Fox Illusion
in Star Fox
and the
Adventures,
Fire Fox.
every enemy you kill just like
Fox is
explodes and obliterates into energy. And someone could argue he's obliterating them by hitting them so hard. It's not a good argument.
taken
but you could
down
argue
entire
that.
armies on his own,
It's
and unlike
not
the old
a bad argument, though. Like, they
Unless
back
you want
it
to
up.
upscale Prince Tricky.
I mean, they back it up with a statement, don't they? That everything is getting vaporized by the staff.
That's in a comic.
Oh, gotcha.
dead dad, he's defeated Andros not once, but twice.
He is absolutely fearless, though he often relies on his brainier wingmates to handle
Not very
strategy and intel.
Cause when he comes up with
I don't know enough to comment on that.
Not like maliciously cunning, but he's supposedly like the best strategist on Corneria.
I love their last point, though.
Doomed to a pathetic and lonely existence for no good reason after Star Fox Command on DS. That's true! So Fox, you beat the game, and then Fox's ending is like Crystal leaves Star Fox because Fox was overprotective and changes her name to Cursed with a K. And so then Fox becomes an alcoholic and goes to Papatoon, where he was born, and gets real like depressed and just drinks his life away.
That game was such a mess.
I prefer that ending to when he actually has a kid, though, because his kid, Marcus, looks horrifying.
Also true.
All right.
the plan, he ends up falling into a black hole. Clever like a fox, my ass.
Regardless, he has proven himself more than capable of saving the day on his own time and time again. He is the leader of the second generation of Star Fox, the greatest commando team in the galaxy. And that alone
Yeah,
should
they do
prove
join
one
F-Zero,
thing.
actually.
You don't fuck around with
G-Zero,
Fox
I believe.
McCloud.
G-Zero.
I see him up ahead. Let's rock and roll.
All right, so it sounds like he does get his R-Wing. I know nothing about this character.
I know what you're thinking. Just
think he's a
who
bunny.
is Captain Bucky O'Hare? Well, prepare to be reminded or introduced to the greatest cartoon rabbit since Bugs Bunny.
Wow, they just really play through that intro.
Still going.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. they put the whole thing in here.
Get the funky fresh rabbit who can take care of it.
I feel like they must have used him because they grew up on this show or something.
Yeah.
Here got him, Bucky O'Hare.
All right, there we go.
Oh, the 80s.
Graduate of the esteemed Genus Academy and trained in combat by the
Fox versus
mysterious
Rocket
warrior
Raccoon's a cool one.
Dameron Jabak. Bucky O'Hare and his motley crew defend the Aniverse, yes, the Aniverse, from the evil Toad Empire, who are basically amphibian Nazis. If Hitler was Skynet.
I bet you want to watch the show now, huh?
Do I have your undivided attention?
Actually, Slippy's
now?
uncle owns
Bucky
like,
Captain's the best
embezzlement
named
planet
spaceship of all time.
shaped in his
The
face.
Righteous Indignation,
like his face.
which is now the new name for my penis.
This tough frigate needs a full crew to operate, but its pivoting maser cannon packs a deadly punch.
Enough about my genitals, Wiz. Let's get back to the rabbit. Bucky's no slouch on the ground. He always carries one automatic laser pistol, powerful enough to slice through solid metal. He also brings along 2 energy grenades. When
they were
detonated, the
talking about
resulting
Fox's
blast is massive.
Never heard of this game.
Bucky also wears a very reliable jetpack, which is fast enough to
No one
apparently
does.
outrace explosions. The velocity of a detonation can reach over 2,000 meters per second. This means in 0G, Bucky's jetpack can reach speeds over Mach 5, which would turn any normal rabbit
Thoughts
into
on that?
mush.
But not this fucking fresh
I
rabbit.
feel like they
And yes,
used the
that's a
high
direct
end of an
means it-
explosion and said that had to be what was happening here.
And then they
Which-
made that as fast as he's constantly going.
In
Yeah.
0G,
I
Bucky's
don't necessarily agree with that, but
jetpack
without
can reach
calculating
speeds
the
over
speed of
Mach
the explosion
5, which
on their own, I guess it's fine.
We tend to do distance over time and then adjust for things like gravity.
would turn any normal rabbit into mush.
But not
Which
this
you can see
fucking
right
fresh rabbit. And yes, that's a direct quote.
Bucky will avoid a fight if he can, preferring to outsmart his opponents rather than resort to brute force.
I saw this one.
serious pondering to do.
However, he's a skilled martial
watched
artist,
it-
an
I
expert
think I watched
marksman,
it when I
and
was
his
doing our
acrobatic
first
ability
episode
is
on Fox.
legendary. He can leap well over 100 feet in the air with a single hop.
He's a cunning warrior and
I think it's so
leader.
funny that they
Bucky
gave-
is responsible
they
for
gave him
constructing a
metal legs.
massive galactic-wide
Like, I think
army
that-
to
I don't
combat
think
the
it comes
Toad
from
Empire,
Game Theory.
and
Talk about
succeeded in dethroning their robotic
I
ruler
could have sworn
complex
I
not
saw
once but twice.
A direct quote
Anyone who would
confirming
dare to
it from
fight
the
should
developer,
beware the
and you
deadly
told me it
Captain
didn't
Bucky
exist, and I
O'Hare.
couldn't find it again,
Attention
so,
all hands,
No,
battle
it's been
stations.
disconfirmed.
I think I just switched.
I have no
All
idea
right, the
how tough
combatants are
Rocket
set.
Raccoon is,
Let's
but
end this debate
Foxes,
once and for all.
People sleep
But
on
right
Fox,
now,
and the whole
it's time for a
franchise.
Luminosity advertisement!
They had like they used to
A
have
lot of
Netflix
Death Battles combatants
advertisements
are extreme. Feedback
for
to
like
one.
mailing you movies.
That's really funny.
All right, let's do this.
I want Netflix to advertise with us now.
We're heading out. All aircraft report. This is Peppy. All systems go.
Don't forget me!
Slippy, what are you doing? Hurry up!
Don't worry.
Attention all hands, battle stations. Huh?
Can't hear us.
Slippy, watch out!
Yeah, I can.
Ah!
I'll turn that down.
Bucky's gonna win because they gave him the higher speed. Yeah, I could see it. Even though Fox has an ironclad FTL
one
feat in
boat.
adventures
There's one more to go.
outside of his ship.
Slippy is actually the best member of Star Fox. Like, no joke.
Come on!
Hey, he's got his Smash Flash sprites.
Animation's a lot better than I expected.
Yeah. Is this season 1 or season 2?
I think it's
season 3.
I don't know.
That's weird. They have him in a 3D environment. I didn't expect to see that so soon.
It's cool though.
Yeah. I'd love to see Fox using more of his arsenal.
I know, he should have just turned intangible and then rocketed it up with it.
Yeah, so Fox's staff, he's got a magic staff he can use, and it can turn in intangible, so attacks just go through. Can't reflect stuff like that. So here's a fun fact. Fox hasn't done too much hand-to-hand combat. He's knocked out Falco, but he has done swords combat, swordsmanship, and is pretty decent at it.
Speaking of fun facts, did it blow off his metal legs? It's great they included that.
Yeah.
Even if it's wrong.
Is he choking him?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Fox. You know how to do a better choke than that. Hey. And there it goes. Well, that was cool.
Calamity and
Yeah.
woe indeed. Bucky's long
I feel like,
spotlight didn't last long.
Let's see. Should we watch their thoughts and then give our thoughts?
Sure.
Considering foxes eat hares, I'm not surprised.
Right. First off, yes, the R-Wing trumped the Righteous Indignation, as its weaponry, shielding, and maneuverability were simply outclassed.
But not before Krogan, the worst toad of all time.
Slippy
I
is
love this job.
so crazy.
Bucky's ship is a tough old bird, so a fight to the finish on the ground was inevitable.
Both Bucky and Fox had blow-by-blow counters. Fox's reflector and Bucky's acrobatics could avoid laser fire. Fox is fearless, but Bucky is cunning. Fox is faster on land, but Bucky is faster in the air. The deciding factor was experience.
Fox has been a major player in more wars than Bucky, and single-handedly ended all of them.
At his own request.
I'll go it alone from here.
Like a real man. Foxman.
Also, Bucky always had a squad of troops at his back during ground combats. But when Star Fox does an away mission, Fox is usually all on his own, even when fighting an entire planet of dinosaurs.
In the end,
Hey,
Bucky
he had
choked.
help.
The winner is Fox McCloud.
The rest of the team was right, like a few seconds away.
Next time.
And you had a dinosaur pet.
Yeah. All right. So thoughts on Fox versus Bucky?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I think obviously there's a lot they overlooked for Fox, probably both characters, but I don't have the expectation that they would get literally everything, especially in early episodes.
Here's the thing: is nobody has all of Star Fox's stuff, or at least even if it's compiled, no one talks about it.
Yeah.
Like, did you know that the R-Wing has a supernova attack? I found that out. Also has a transposer thing where it swaps your place with your enemy. But yeah, there's so many weird things, and even after my fever dream-induced hours of going through Star Fox feats over and over and over, I'm still finding new stuff.
Here's a fun one. Falco can survive a smart bomb point blank, and Fox can one-shot Falco with his fist. Just do with that what you will.
Anyway. But yeah, you do want Fox to kill Sonic. I want Sonic to win, but I want the Sonic fan base to lose. So how could we do that?
Don't say that.
No, I don't want to say that because it's accurate.
I just want people to stop pinging me on YouTube about that episode because I have addressed all of your arguments. Actually, that's
Even
not true.
in that episode,
I got a
all
new
of
one
those,
the other day.
That's true.
I don't remember
Like,
what
not
it
too
was.
much on what we did for Sonic is changing. Some stuff's being added because of our canon rules, but like a lot of these arguments we had looked into. Like the research on that episode wasn't bad. It just wasn't. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. Especially like Fox's wasn't good.
I did almost all the research for that episode in like a week with no sleep because we just kind of realized that we needed to do more than what I had before. I think that episode started out and we looked through like one respect thread for each character and we're like, that's enough.
That's how we used to script them, is before we really looked at their feats in detail, we look at their respect threads and then use that to get an idea of how to go through things.
That's all we did for the early episodes.
Yeah, and so that led us to think, well, Sonic's just going to absolutely stomp Fox. Zero chance, even just game Sonic. And that's what he's doing for the first, like, minute and a half, 2 minutes of the fight. And when Fox is in prison, that's when it was originally going to end. I think I've told this story before. It was supposed to end there, and then we were like, wait, Sonic wouldn't be able to beat Fox without Supersonic, so let's add that in. And then he was going to slam Fox through the moon as Supersonic. And then we were like, wait, Fox actually is crazy and might win this. And so after a long conversation, we decided Fox won that first round. And then, so from the moon, we added that shot of him blasting into Sonic with the R-Wing and then shooting him with the Demon Sniper.
Even more fun fact, we were originally going to have Sonic just laying there on the ground while Fox blasted his head off with the Demon Sniper like 12 times to go through all his revives.
Yeah, because Sonic has a ton of revives. And so originally, it was animated and everything, we just couldn't get it. It was... Fox called in his R-Wing Walker, I believe is what it's called, and was just laying into him with like plasma cannons, shooting him with snipers, throwing grenades, and just basically spawn camping him until the final blow.
Yeah. I'm excited for the rematch. I think we're going to do real well with that.
Yeah.
Do you want to do another, or should we call it?
I think we should probably call it.
It's probably a good idea. What's the story of James McCloud becoming a space whale? Well, he flew into a black hole, and it sucked him into a higher dimension. And then he visited his son with a spaceship, but because it was a higher dimensional spaceship, it manifested as a whale. That's the story.
That's the story. Anyway, yeah, it's been nice getting back to streaming.
We'll try and be more consistent going forward.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for your donations and all of your help. And we'll try to get our reaction to Fox versus Bucky up on the crew channel. So go subscribe to that if you haven't.
Oh, also, sneak peek. We've got a video coming out in a couple of days where I look at Sonic taking his speed super literally and just using it in real physics and examining all the consequences of that. And it is going to be very fun. So
over on the
go
channel.
subscribe for that as well.
All right. And yeah, I think that about does it. Anything else?
No. Thank you. Thank you all for stopping in and watching. And we will see you later.
All right. See you guys.